Hello dear learners, I am Dr. Asiya Mudassir. In the previous video, we discussed components of pre-service teacher education, and today let's move forward to explore more. Dear viewers, in the world of teacher education, foundation courses like philosophy of education and psychology of education are often considered as just theory. But in reality, they are the blueprints for human connection. Today, we are going deep into the transactional approaches that turn these silent pages into an active, breathing classroom experiences. This topic is crucial for anyone appearing for NET, SET, or JKPSC exams related to education, as it covers the core of how NCTE, National Council for Teacher Education, expects us to deliver the curriculum. So let's begin our today's topic, transactional approaches for foundational courses, expository learning, collaborative learning, and experiential learning. Let's first discover what does transactional approach mean. The word transaction in education means the process through which knowledge is shared, discussed, and constructed between the teacher and the students. So, transactional approaches refers to the methods used to conduct or deliver a course in the classroom. In simple words, transaction is equal to the way teaching and learning happens in the classroom. For example, a teacher can teach a topic by giving a lecture, organizing group discussion, or conducting an activity or project. These are different ways of transacting the curriculum. Now, here the question arises that why does the syllabus mention for foundation courses? In teacher education, foundation courses include subjects such as philosophy of education, sociology of education, psychology of learning, history of education, contemporary issues in education. So these subjects mainly deal with the ideas, the concepts, theories, and perspectives about education. Because these courses involve thinking, reflection, and discussion, they cannot be taught effectively only through traditional lectures. Therefore, the syllabus specifically recommends appropriate transactional approaches for these courses. The aim is to ensure that students understand the concepts deeply rather than memorizing the theories. So the three important transactional approaches that are recommended by the syllabus for the foundation courses are expository learning, collaborative learning, and experiential learning. These approaches help students understand educational ideas from multiple perspectives. Let's understand each of them one by one. Let's begin with the first approach, that is expository learning. Expository learning means the teacher clearly explains the concepts, theories, or ideas through lectures, presentations, or demonstrations. This approach is useful when students need structured explanation of a complex theory. For example, while teaching educational philosophy, the teacher may explain different philosophies such as idealism or pragmatism using real-life examples and illustrations. Students listen, take notes, and ask questions to clarify their understanding. Expository teaching ensures that students receive clear and organized explanations of theoretical concepts. Dear viewers, imagine a classroom of B.Ed students studying philosophy of education. The teacher enters the classroom and writes on a board, idealism. The students look at each other. One student whispers, "What does that even mean?" The teacher smiles and begins explaining. She says, "Many years ago, philosophers believed that reality is not just what we see with our eyes. They believed that ideas, values, and the mind are most important than material things. This philosophy is called idealism." Then she gives examples. She says, for example, when a teacher tries to develop honesty, kindness, and moral values in the students, she is actually applying the ideas of idealistic philosophy. The teacher continues, explaining the concept step by step using clear language, examples, and illustrations. Gradually, the students begin to understand the concept that earlier seemed confusing. Concept explanation is this, that this type of teaching is called expository learning. In expository learning, the teacher explains ideas, theories, and concepts in a clear and structured way so that the learners can understand the complex knowledge easily. The teacher organizes the content, presents it logically, and supports it with examples. This approach is especially useful in foundation courses such as educational philosophy or psychology, where students need clear explanation of the theoretical concepts. So, expository learning means learning through clear explanation and organized presentation of knowledge by the teacher. Dear viewers, have you experienced a teacher who could explain even the most difficult theory so clearly that it suddenly makes sense? Okay, let's move towards another approach, that is collaborative learning. Collaborative learning means students learn together through discussions, group work, and shared activities. In this approach, students exchange ideas and learn from each other. For example, in a Sociology of Education class, students may be divided into groups to discuss the topic. How does family background influence a child's education? Each group shares examples from their own observations or experiences. Through discussion, students realize that education is connected with social and cultural factors. This approach helps develop critical thinking and communication skills. Imagine a B.Ed classroom where students are studying sociology of education. The teacher writes a question on the board: how does society influence a child's education? Instead of explaining the answer immediately, the child divides the class into four small groups. She tells them, discuss this question in your group. Think about examples from your own life, your school, or your community. In one group, a student says, in my village, many girls stop their education early because of social traditions. Another student adds, in cities, parents often push children towards coaching centers and competitive exams. A third student says, in some families, parents encourage children to read books and discuss ideas at home, which helps them learn better. After a few minutes, each group shares its ideas with the class. As students listen to different perspectives, they begin to understand that education is deeply connected with the society, culture, and family background. The teacher then summarizes their points and connects them with the sociological concept. This process is called collaborative learning. In collaborative learning, students learn together by discussing ideas, sharing experiences, and solving problems in groups. Instead of learning only from the teacher, students also learn from one another. This approach develops critical thinking, communication skills, and deeper understanding of the concept. So, collaborative learning means learning through cooperation, discussion, and shared understanding among the students. Have you ever understood a concept better after discussing it with your classmates? Dear viewers, write in the comments. Okay, let's discuss the third approach, that is experiential learning. Experiential learning means learning through experience, observation, and reflection. Students do not only read about concepts, they observe and experience them in real life situations. For example, while studying inclusive education, teacher trainee may visit a school and observe how teachers support students with different learning needs. After the visit, they discuss their observations in the class. This experience helps them understand the concept more deeply than simply reading about it in the textbook. Imagine a group of B.Ed students who are studying the topic inclusive education. In the classroom, the teacher explains the theory. She talks about how every child is unique and how schools should include the children with different abilities, backgrounds, and learning needs. The students listen carefully and takes notes. But the teacher knows that some concepts cannot be fully understood only through books. So one day she announces, tomorrow we will visit a nearby school. The next day, the students enter the school and observe a classroom where a teacher is teaching children with different learning abilities. They see one child who needs extra time to read, another who learns better through pictures, another who asks many questions. The teacher in the classroom patiently uses different methods so that every child can participate. After the visit, the B.Ed students return to their college. The teacher asks them, "Now tell me, what did you observe?" One student says, "I realized that inclusive education is not just a theory, it requires patience and different teaching strategies." Another student adds, "I saw the teacher adjusted her teaching so that every child could learn." Through this real life experience, the students understand the concept much more deeply than they could from reading a textbook. This type of learning is called experiential learning. In experiential learning, students learn through direct experience, observation, and reflection. Instead of only hearing about the concept, they experience it in the real situation and then think about what they learned from that experience. So, experiential learning means learning by doing, observing, and reflecting on real life experience. So, in conclusion, we can say that expository learning helps students understand concepts through explanation, collaborative learning helps them understand through discussion, and experiential learning helps them understand through real life experiences. So, dear viewers, mastering these transactional approaches is key to clearing your B.Ed exam and competitive tests like NET or SET exams. To stay updated with the complete syllabus explained in the simple way, make sure you are subscribed. Check out the playlist on my channel for more deep dives into teacher education. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.